Okay people, today let's take a quick look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Skeleton Crew SM-33. Now I've been both anticipating and dreading this release. I'm excited because it's a new kick-ass looking droid from some media I enjoyed. And just looking at it in the package, it's carried on that kick-assedness into plastic form. But you know why I've been dreading it? Well, okay, there's two reasons actually. One obvious, one not so obvious. One, there's a peg leg and a droid foot, and I haven't had the best of luck with recent droids. They all get weak in the ankles for some reason. Translating Star Wars designs into the real world can sometimes be tricky because of the thinness, just how it goes, the engineering. Yeah. But the other thing is this. Can you see it? Oh, what? This little mouse turd thing. I have felt so much anxiety over that since they revealed it. And they were digging into the head with tweezers. And I'm just like, that thing's gone. I'm afraid to open this. I'm afraid to get that little piece out. Oh, carpet monster. Don't do me wrong. Looking at the package, it's what we're used to with Black Series. Have the Star Wars Black Series logo, have the character name in the Skeleton Crew yellow. That's the same in the background of the window where we can see most of the figure. Hasbro warning choking hazards, small parts. Boy, they ain't kidding this time. The part is so small that if you did swallow it, you wouldn't notice. Going in or out. It'd just be like, well, it wasn't the carpet monster, but it was a different kind of beast. On the side, some nice artwork of SM-33, again with that little rodent sticking out of the eye. Does that mean this is a 2-pack? On the back, that same artwork, along with a bio to catch you up in case you didn't see the show. Warning, small parts. Includes figure and 4 accessories. Wait a second, was there 4? You have the 2 discs, you have the little buddy, and... oh, a stand. On the other side, Star Wars logo again, some Skeleton Crew yellow, a window, and not much else. On the top, my expectations for that making it to my display. I know I'm harping on it. I know. It's the obvious joke to make, but I can't help myself. I won't do it through the whole review. On the bottom, there's the UPC, legalese. Let's get this open, see what's going on here. Oh, and right off the bat, before getting into anything, I want to announce that one of my fears is not a problem whatsoever. This ankle is tight as hell. It just does its job. Now, I haven't put this through the paces yet. I've bent some joints, I've extended some things, but I haven't went full pose mode yet. But I did bend the ankle. It's smooth. It's fluid. It goes back and forth. It's not tight as hell to the point where you think you're going to break something. I can't say quite the same about the ankle tilt, but I'm not going to complain. It still moves. In fact, it's loosened up slightly now that I've done this a few times, but it still goes right back down. But we'll see how it poses in a bit. That's spoilers though. We usually go over Sculpt and Paint first, and in that department, it looks pretty damn good. When I first saw the promotional images, I thought, well, that is too bright. But then I realized in the movie, the droid is usually in a dark setting. When you look at actual production stills or behind the scenes or whatever, this is what the robot actually looked like. It's got that brighter silver to it. Now, I am not saying it couldn't be dirtier, because I love my Star Wars dirty, but there is some wear and tear. There's kind of this rust look on places, some pitting, some chipping at the joint areas. Well, okay, not so much on the back, that's fairly clean, but the sculpt shows some dings and dents. Oh, well, okay, I see it on the front too, where there's pitting, but not a lot of paint. Ooh, a dark wash to this may help things along. There's also some orange and some, is that a yellowish greenish color down in there? That's definitely green around the leg, along with some yellow, and then a metallic brassy gold color. Down here would be the dirtiest, just trudging along through a dirty ship or on dusty planets. And then the sculpt pretty much nails it. It has that newish look, but there's also a lot of callbacks to other Star Wars droids. We usually see this layout, this backpack type part back here. The wires running up through the midsection, and there's more paint there. There's blues and reds and grays. Not on the back. In fact, as soon as you get to the side, it disappears. It's like, we don't need that. But there are wires running up there too. Oh, I forgot to point out this metallic color from the kneecap. is also on the right forearm. Left forearm is more plain, kind of asymmetrical. Not so much sculpt-wise, unless you're counting the eye, but, oh, and then, of course, the peg leg. But you know what? The only thing missing here is a hook on the right hand. Wait, there is more sculpt asymmetry. The right shoulder pad is kind of plain. It has some rivets running down the middle, maybe a seam line, but on the left, oh, big old studs with some shape to it, this kick down at the bottom. Forgot to point out the shoulders are also in a metallic plastic, and that looks really good. I'd like to see a whole droid in that color. But we need to get to engineering because there's a lot of it. There's the standard ring around the shoulder we've been seeing a lot lately, where the plastic goes around and then attaches and it is a soft material, gets up and out of the way. We're seeing that new media joint going through where it's a translucent pin where you can see through there and there. The top of the skull is removable and it's attached to all these cables, and that's obviously to put the rodent thing into the eye. But my problem here is trying to get the droid to look down. This is the setup out of the package, and standing straight up and down, which I understand in this mode, trudging around. Oh, okay, we'll get to this here in a second. Walking around the ship, he was bent over a bit, and in this configuration, that works well because he can look up a bit. In fact, he can look really far up. My problem was out of the package, straight up and down, it won't look forward, and it definitely won't look down. With the skull cap off, you can get down slightly further, and I thought, oh, okay, but as soon as you attach that on there, the cables drag the head up a little bit, and it's very slight. It's not a lot, but it's enough. What I figured out is that there is a bend to the neck, and it's cranked back at the moment. So if you take the neck and turn it around, and then turn the head around, and put the cap on, you can get some down, at least more than you can right out of the package. And I feel that works better for extendo mode, and that's to make him bigger and more intimidating like we saw in the show. This is pretty nifty. The swivel at the knee, you can pull down and out. The ankle, you can pull that down. Same thing on this side. There is a pop to keep it in that position. Pull it out, and then there's another pop in fully extended position. Same thing here at the peg leg. That adds quite a bit of height to the figure. Oh, but we're not done. You pull on the elbow, and the right one is tough as hell. You gotta really pull on it, or at least on mine, for it to extend out. That's also at the wrist. The nifty thing about the one above the elbow is that it has more chunk to it. It's shaped like a rectangle. All the rest are round. So this one swivels, this one swivels, this one swivels. This one doesn't swivel because there's a bicep joint. The bicep is always in line with the elbow. That's so you can't get it flipped around and then the design works on the inside and you're fighting it and everything. So I like that. But that is where we run into the forearm plates, and I'm going to extend the left one, and I have trouble with this one popping off sometimes. Of course, it didn't do it when I was doing it right there, but you saw it earlier. The thing is, it's got a fulcrum and a pivot point. So when you put it on there, it only goes on one direction. The pin is shaped. It's got a kick down right there. And you get it on there, and if you touch here or here, the right one has a shaped peg too, kicking forward. That goes like this, and it has a pop to it. I haven't had as much trouble with it just kind of falling off as I'm holding it or gripping it. This one likes to get rowdy, likes to get away from me. That's not all with the Mr. Fantastic powers. There's also the torso, and I think it was right here out of the package. And from there, there's a bit more extension that it pops up into place. When I first did that, I thought, well, I'm going to pop it back down to start the review. And I did this, and it goes all the way down. And granted, it's been a little while since I've seen Skeleton Crew, but this looks wrong. Did it actually do this in the show? You still get some movement out of the torso with it pushed together that far, but man, that just looks super high pants. Well, I don't know. Everything pushed together. Let's do this. Especially next to one of the kids. But watch this. Even with all that pushing and pulling, still stands just fine. Well, okay. It is a bit precarious, but you can find the center of balance fairly easy. How about with a little posing going on? Oh. That's not bad at all. I'd bring this up and out a bit more. As long as you have center of balance and don't get crazy wacky with it. Okay, can't help it. I still like it like that. It just feels more balanced overall. Going over articulation, there is a ball joint at the top of the neck and then a ball joint at the bottom. And like I showed a minute ago, I turned it around. I think I'm just gonna leave it in this position because it still gets good up, but also allows for slight down. Tilt, or well, more rotation since the neck's coming forward, but still looks to the left and to the right fairly nice. There is a butterfly joint at the shoulder. It goes back, it goes forward. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere, but yeah, see, there's forward under there. Pin coming out to the shoulder rotates around along with a hinge that goes up to there. Swivel at the bicep. Single elbow goes up slightly past 90. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. Dumbbell joint up under the armor piece. Does crunch forward, arcs back. There's tilt, rotation. Ball joint coming out to the hip with a lot of gap, appropriately so. It's supposed to be like that. But that allows for this much kick up. Man. Going back, oh, well, you can essentially rotate all the way around, but when it comes to out, it gets about that far. There's a swivel at the knee. I was gonna say thigh, but it's down low. Hinge joint at the knee comes up 290. Ankle rotates, and then the hinge down there goes back, goes forward, and then there is a pin forward and back to allow a rocker ankle. Goes out that far and in that far. And only on one side because the other one's a peg leg. For accessories, we're going to start with the clear stand. And that just pegs into the bottom of the foot in case you want the utmost stability on the shelf. That's gonna hold it up. Then there's these two forearm shields. They're cast in the same silver plastic. There's that same bronzy paint job in a couple of places, and then some blast marks. That's the reason that these are removable. So I'm gonna pull that one off and see how this one fits on, because if this works better, this may stay on here for the rest of the existence. And there wasn't a pop to it, but kind of like the look of it better. How about this one? Does this one pop on? Yeah, that one's just tighter. In fact, I can hold it like that. What's this one do? No. So it's this, not this. Just to appease my own curiosity, let's try smashing that in slightly. And I didn't even have to heat it. It's just kind of thin plastic. Yes. I can't speak for all of the SM-33s. It's just mine. The right is tight, the left is loose. And then we get to this, and I'm not even going to hold it because my shaking would make it impossible to look at, but I'm going to attempt this. And is it sitting? Ah! Is that correct? Is it looking at the screen? Yeah, I think so. It does have a slight bit of sculpted detail, but as far as paint goes, I don't think there's much there. I'm gonna attempt to put that in there, and I'm gonna use this just for ease. And yes, getting its head to poke out is a whole different matter though. Good grief, I can't even see if it's right side up, but with it poking out slightly, it's pegged in, it's not gonna fall out. And I think that's where it's staying. I'm gonna put this back on because I was worried. If you just have it sitting back in the eye socket loose and you're messing around with it, this does have a tendency to pop off sometimes. Not a lot. It's only when you get crazy with it. That is its forever home. Plus it fills the hole. It takes away the emptiness. It makes it feel complete. How about that? Size-wise, standing like this, which I think is my preferred look, proportion-wise, SM-33 stands at 6 3/8 inches tall, which looks good next to Captain Brutus and Jod Na would, and also looks good next to the kids from Skeleton Crew. Yes, I am missing Wim. I forgot to replace him after using him for customs 3 times. So I've already put an order in. I just reminded myself. But if you compress the torso all the way down, he stands this tall next to the kids, which is about 6 1/16. Fully extended and in defense mode, SM-33 stands at 7 1/2 inches. It still towers over more adult types. Full extension does add to the wobbliness of trying to stand him up, but it's not too bad. It's just not as stable as when the center of gravity's further down. So at the end of the day, lots of options is awesome, but I think I like it just in plain Jane tooling around the ship mode. But that's the beauty of the engineering here. It looks great in fully extended mode, in defense mode, keeping the bad guys away from the kids or the captain. But if you didn't know any better and just picked it up in compacted mode with all the extensions pushed in, you wouldn't even know they're there. And that's just awesome. It gives people a choice. Pose it this way, pose it this way, you're good either way. I don't know how they all are. Mine is great for the most part, except for that damn left forearm. And I know it's me hitting it while posing it around or messing with it. It's not gonna just fall off on the shelf. But you know how it goes. You mess. Oh, and I will point out that the right bicep is still tight as hell. I got it to extend. I put it back in, left it for a bit while I was doing the size comparisons. Tried to pull it out again. Oh man, so tight. I'm not trying to, oh, my fingers are weak, but ooh, had to pull. But those are just two minor gripes. And again, may just be this copy. I think the sculpt, the silvers, the paint on it, yes, it could still use a wash, and I'll probably do that at some point, but it looks great. And I'm completely happy with it. And that's where we usually are at the end of these things, right? And oh, he likes it, big surprise. But it's bread and butter. Yes, I called out some things, but I think the good outweighs the bad. So, and made me go order a whim. That completes that set. On to the next. Bye.